Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. I was sent a replay recently, and this is that replay. So, we're on the ladder. We've had some 2v2 games recently, you know. So, let's take it back to classic 1v1 ladder on a classic map. This is Loki. Maybe the best custom ladder map. It's certainly top 3, we'll say. A 10x10 map with several bases, a little bit of reclaim, not too much, and many options. And an interesting blockade in the middle, provided by all these civilians just stuck in the middle of intergalactic robot wars. So over here we have PheatherNoob playing Cybern, opening with a factory, 2 P-gens, and we can see already that this player has the Eco Manager mod. Not something I recommend at all for ladder, but I think this player, PheatherNoob, is probably more of a sentence player, I believe, if I'm correct. And over here we have OCA, not a player I'm familiar with, but he's given up about, what, 70 or 80 rating here to his opponent, so a nice few points available to him if he can take out PheatherNoob. And OCA is gone UEF, so we got a classic matchup of UEF versus Cybern. UEF in the blue, Cybern in the red, it's all lining up. So OCA has decided to go for a second land. He's making quite a few engineers. So he's got 5 engineers early on. And he's not really taking the reclaim. These engineers are going to work together to take this expansion and also go forth to the corner and across the little pond and get a factory and a radar up. Looks like sensible stuff. Over on the other side, even more engineers from PheatherNoob, who has, what, 6 and 7? Now he has 8 engineers, and he's got 1 tank, and also no air factory planned. Very low on power. Now we can see the... Oh no, we won't actually see what Eco Manager does for you, but I think we're going to see some, engineers pausing and unpausing to prevent power stalls. Now, so neither player making an air factory. Another land factory. There won't be an air factory here. It's not a terrible idea to make an air factory here. Also, Zlo started a little while ago beginning to send extra engineers to this area to take the forest and then edge build up onto this plateau, which is actually quite a nice move. A little innovation from Zlo there that I think hasn't been caught onto by some others. Not that it's a guaranteed improvement on what people normally do, but it's certainly a nice idea and has some upsides to it, some advantages. PheatherNoob has prepared some additional P-gens and now constructs the air factory quite a lot slower to the mass extractors and the hydrocarbon here, but on the flip side has gotten more of the tree reclaim. I would say that the structures building here would be perhaps more valuable than the additional reclaim. Now we have an air factory coming up from OCA. Now that he's finished his hydrocarbon, he certainly could have constructed that a little bit sooner. But he is on the attack here with some nice aggressive tanks and a land scout. And he's going to find something to raid. Now he could have taken a 2v1 there, I think, on that Mantis. But actually, well, no, there's now 3, so he's moving towards the 3-mex expansion where there is... Uh-oh. There's a Mantis upgrading a mechs here. Oh, the pain of Eco Manager. Eco Manager automatically seems to upgrade the mechs and then pause it for you. I believe that's part of the mod, and as a result, there's now a Mantis who has constructed 5% of a T2 mech. So, wouldn't advise using this mod at all on ladder. Not a good idea. On the other hand, well, this Mantis has gotten some nice damage, but now is well, since we've been watching, has just shot into the ground there while trying to attack the NG. On the flip side, there's 2 T2 mechs already from PheatherNoob, and way more reclaim as well. So PheatherNoob in an early lead. Here we can see the pause mechanic, I believe. Yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan. Now that's an eco balance. So a bit of a raid here, and the engineer goes down, but the raid gets cleaned up except for, oh wait, hang on, there's the engineer right there, and there's a single tank, so the tank could still get the kill there. A couple engineers over here expanding after they've constructed the factory and the radar. Engineer down here. Oh, 2 engineers actually. 2 friends getting close to each other. Looks almost like a T2 engineer when they're on top of each other like that. And those engineers look like they're in danger. A little squad of Mantis on their way, scurrying across the green meadows of Loki, looking for something to kill. Now on the other side, PheatherNoob a little bit slower to here, but certainly quicker with the ACU to the 3 mechs at the top. And hang on a sec. A bomber has begun attacking a newly scouted commander, which is actually entering PheatherNoob's base right now. He begins shooting at the landed inties. Unfortunately, they are protected by this cliff face. Bomber gets another pass, and we'll go down to the inti support. There are no units in the area for OCA, and there are 4 T2 mexes now. There's an energy storage as well. 2 PDs up already. A lot of engineers available to throw up PDs quickly. Now there's 3. There's 2 more planned, so that's going to be a huge investment. 250 mass a piece are those. Of course, the walls are negligible cost, but that's 1,000 mass in T1 PDs, and this ACU is still not in range of any of them. Could potentially skirt around here. If he walks into range here, there's going to be a lot of damage done. Is there overcharge for this commander? There is not. There's no overflow. Neither is there storage. And now we see the reinforcements pouring directly through this little choke point in the middle. You can wall this off, and it's quite annoying once it's walled off to get through. But as it is, that choke point is open and the units are rushing through and attacking expansions. The ACU has dropped a little below 8k, but is still quite healthy. The base secured reasonably well by 5 T1 PDs. That's 1,250 mass in PDs, plus about 50 for the walls. We're at 1,300. Rather expensive. And the ACU is retreating towards the base for PheatherNoob, which I think is a solid decision, most likely. I mean, this looks rather scary. However, there is no PD here. Wow, 3 factories though, an air factory included. It's paused because of a lack of power. And more PD, and this PD investment is getting very expensive as it continues. Factories going up here. Wouldn't mind a PD here actually, but a factory is certainly necessary. Ooh, that's okay. For a second I thought this was going to be all energy storage, but no, it's energy storage followed by PGens. PD with no walls here, not ideal, but Now a Jester, and OCA takes another little walk into... Oh, he turns back into the PDs. He's going to lose so much HP here. Okay, suddenly the PDs stop firing on his ACU. That's quite remarkable, but now he is out of range. And there's a lot of artillery here. No units in the base whatsoever. Nothing. I mean, in this position, what you need to defend the PDs are units, and, well, the best unit probably to use would be the Medusa. The Mantis certainly could be suicided forward into the commander to take out some Lobos, as is happening now, but the Medusa can stay back and force the commander to come forward into range of PDs to actually kill them. So Medusa were needed in this base. Now we can see Medusa being produced, but it's a little bit late because the Lobos have already taken out 3 of the 5 PDs. Oh, the energy storage just focused down and just blows up everything around it. That's a lot of damage. And the overcharge is also coming in from OCA as he has his energy storage. He has a ton of mass now. 1400 mass. He could have 5 more factories here probably. Oh, that is taking a lot of damage. No. The PDs. Some of the PDs are paying off. The ACU finally arrives here just as the base is being totally overrun. Another PD back here in the back of the base has done huge damage. That was an overcharge onto I don't know what. Walls mainly. This PD requires 1 ACU shot. Please shoot it once, sir. It is killing everything. There's also random Jesters. Wow, okay, there's 3 Jesters now. And total air control for PheatherNoob, and his ACU is arriving. This ACU needs to escape now. This PD survives, gets a vet, 800 mass, 900 mass killed. That's going to get another veterancy in short order. And meanwhile, the base is ravaged. I really wish this PD had died for OCA's sake, but he will survive thanks to this commander. This commander actually got a veterancy as he was walking away, so something in the base died that he had damaged, causing him to be given some veterancy points to put him over the edge into the 2nd vet level, gave him some HP back, which is quite important because now he's still in 4K. Without that, he would have been quite low, and he also has additional regen now, which will help him get back up to a healthier energy level or health level. The Jesters go to work. There's still tanks killing PGens in the base. Are there replacement PGens? No. Looks like there's some planned now. That's a little bit late because PheatherNoob is 320 power income is so little at this point. Okay, yeah, just 1260 mass on this PD, by the way. And PheatherNoob, at least his commander is looking healthy, and he has got how much reclaim in this base? Approaching 9k. I'm wondering what the distribution is between his stuff, his dead stuff, and his opponent's dead tanks. It might be pretty even, to be honest, looking at it. I mean, the PGens are gonna... That's a lot of reclaim in those. Obviously, T2 mexes providing a lot. Only 1 of those 4 T2 mexes in his base has survived. But look at that, he has 2 more over here. This front base, of course, dead. This base, also dead. But crucially, this is alive and upgraded. And on the top side, this is alive. Now, he's putting a lot of... Oh my goodness. He's actually upgrading 3 mexes at once here. They're all a third upgraded. And yeah, 3 times the third is 1 whole T2 mex invested here. Plus all these PGens. He has to defend this area. And would you look at that. Looks like all the units have decided not to run into the main base anymore. They found a softer target and a juicier target. And there go those tanks. He's also making T2 Air Factory there as well. I wouldn't be surprised now to see T2 Radar, T2 Land. And yeah, he there's a lot going on up there, and not much to defend it at all. And there we can see the Eco Manager on and off and on and off. Not exactly efficient, Not exactly. This commander is upgrading Nano. You can see it's his left arm that is glowing. And by the cost, which is, looks the same as gun on the left arm. Pretty sure that's Nano. I think T2 would be slightly cheaper. And that was a Janus. That was a Janus bomber from OCA. Look at the aggression. And T2 Air finishes for PheatherNoob, and he does have inties in the area looking for the Janus, but the Janus is off map. It gets another pass. And look at the damage it's done. It's done about 1,000 mass worth of damage. I'd say that's worth it. I'd say that's a pretty good Janus bomber. Now there are still 2 PDs here that need to be killed. There's so many energy storage. Jeez, okay, that's even more mass that I didn't even realize. 750 mass there. The T2 mexes, well, 1 has completed, 2 and 3 have completed. There are no artillery in this army, which is why this base still lives. With artillery, anything is possible. Here's another Janus. This one with almost 300 mass killed now. Not the greatest target on the second pass there, but still a PGen kill. PGens are pretty expensive units, and now he begins to fire on the Jesters in its air superiority mode. It is going to get shot down though very quickly. Oh. Juicy reclaim in the base. Yet more for PheatherNoob to gather. He is also taking out some random PGens. Not a good place to put power. Actually, an extremely terrible place to put power. Pointing it, building towards an enemy expansion. I mean, this is also quite bad, but more understandable. No reason at all for OCA to build PGens down there. Some reason for PheatherNoob to do so, given his main base was almost wiped. Totally. That's these are some walls that are under attack. Very, very bad choice of targets there, but you know, the tanks are really irrelevant because there's 2 Janus bombers blowing up everything in the base as they shoot at walls. There's still a PD alive, which is gonna take out some of these tanks, but there's nothing to stop the Janus. And a few more passes and there's not gonna be anything left here. Nothing at all. The ACU comes out of the water. He did make Nano and followed it up with gun quickly after. PheatherNoob has the gun himself, and both ACUs are just fighting it out. There's 4 Jesters, however, and OCA decides he will dip into the water. Yeah, he's got to be very careful here because, well, I was going to say there's T2 Air, but of course the T2 Air Factory has just died, so there is 1 torpedo bomber, and that is all. That is all the T2 Air that Feather's going to have for the next while. Every single PGen and the energy storage has gone down here, and the entire expansion basically to a few Medusa. On the other side, T2 mexes are going down. There's Janus encroaching on the base. Oof. A lot of anti-air here. And what are the Janus doing? That was where's the drop? That was very strange. And now yeah, targeting a factory is not a good choice. So disappointing secondary passes here as the factories take the brunt of it, and if they don't die they're gonna regen. Yeah, so good first passes. Second passes were very, very wasteful. All those Janus now dead. And well, okay, 2 more coming in, and that's a T2 Air support factory, not an HQ. I'm really hoping that this one is an HQ for PheatherNoob's sake. He may have started upgrading. He certainly upgraded this one before his HQ died, obviously. This one, I'm not so sure. Let's take a look and see. Can't tell because the queue is not showing me, but I'm gonna guess that that's actually an HQ again. I'm gonna hope as well. More P-gens going down. How much energy income do we have? 800. 800. Oh, okay, we've added even more P-gens down here. Just imagine some Janus finding this juicy point of attack. But, oh. Well, speak of the devil. He has found it. Oh, that's incredible. Now, a perfect angle of attack would be even better. But look at this. That's 7 P-gens dying in a single pass there. Not bad. You'd be hard pressed to do that with any other fighter bomber. In the base, well, we don't have any T2 land or anything, but well, the ACU arrives out of the water. Oh, Janus, where are you off to? ACU comes out of the water, feels brave again. Not sure why now in particular he feels brave, but he does, and he has lost air. The Janus are still doing great damage, and he's under attack. He has a lot of HP still, even though he's in the yellow. Getting some damage done on the P-gens. There are some Mantis. It's a lot of anti-air though. A Medusa is not going to do too much, I guess. Medusa goes down, and the ACU is really carrying the most of the damage here. Under 5k. It's getting a little bit scary. He's getting blocked from the water by the Mantis and the anti-air, but successfully retreats to the water. That's a torpedo bomber. Cormorant out, and those do 750 damage per pass. Goodbye to all of these P-gens. Okay, that was a very specific firebombing. Wonder how YouTube responds to hearing that term in its in videos. OCA on 3,500 HP and now below 3,000, taking a lot of damage from these torpedo bombers. He has to come in and kill these bombers because slowly building an anti-air turret, he's not going to save him. He's below 2,000 just now. All of these P-gens are gone now. Janus comes in. The Janus is quite a skilled, quite a powerful, rather, anti-air plane. Obviously not cost efficient compared to an interceptor, but still not to be trifled with. Look at the damage this thing has done. 1,600 damage. Please don't waste it over the base. It's such a powerful unit. And it's gone. This Janus down here also 1,600 damage. There's T2 mexes. Hey, well, we're seeing a pattern emerge here. One player builds T2 mexes, the other player kills T2 mexes. So eventually the player who's building all the T2 mexes is hoping that they won't be killed anymore, but that so far has not come to pass. Look at, oh, fade away. Beautiful. Beautiful shot there. Just, you know, drive by. That's a lot of engineers. Very efficiently trying to reclaim some trees, I guess. A lot of T1 engineers working together. They have very, very bad teamwork abilities, really. Very, very bad. Have a T2B gen. I hear more Janus dropping there. Unfortunately, seem to be, well, they've managed to avoid friendly fire there by the looks of it. And yeah, these bottom expansions are dead. There's more T2 mexes dying. Yep, that is burned to a crisp. Over here we have the ACU already back up thanks to the nano upgrade. 8k HP has been saved a little while ago. He's also making another upgrade on his back this time. -9, -337. Not many backup grades that this could be. Well, there are, but I mean, not many that are not likely to be. A shield generator, obviously. Something slightly less expensive. It is the tactical missile launcher. Obviously, a drone is not going to be so expensive. And teleport is maybe a little early. Maybe not much point in making teleport here. So he's going for tac missile launcher in the water with no T2 upgrade. Not something that I would advise. You generally want the T2 upgrade when you're making tac pack so that you can really pump out those missiles very quickly. No T2 mexes in the base here for OCA. He is not interested in generating more income. He's interested in Janus, he's interested in Lobos, and he's interested in strikers and his own ACU. PheatherNoob is very interested in T2 mexes. He doesn't seem to be able to think of anything else. And he's now building a second T2 P-Gen. He's just building a lot of power that continually gets bombed. And he's building a lot of anti-air, which is actually paying off massively. Look at the damage the anti-air has done. I mean, these things are not expensive at all. 150 mass. It has 3 veterancies. Over 1,000 mass killed. Now there's also a ton of T1 mobile anti-air. And now a static flak. He why not just make T3 mechs now? You know, whatever. You just commit. He has almost 2,000 mass to make, so he's not going T3 mechs. Instead, he's going to make T2 mechs over here. And he's going to make T2 land by the looks of it. Almost zero map control now for PheatherNoob. But a lot of them, the map is simply not taken. Although PheatherNoob doesn't have those mexes, most of them OCA doesn't have either. He doesn't have this anymore. He hasn't taken this from his opponent. Also hasn't got the reclaim. Look at this, 3,000 reclaim on the screen right now. Very significant. This remains untaken, and so does the mass. 5k on screen here. That's a dead Janus, by the way. It looks like it's still smoking and kind of shimmering for some reason. T2 gunships from PheatherNoob. A new tool enlisted to relentlessly kill strikers that relentlessly pour across the map. And okay, tac pack is finished. PheatherNoob has the gun, stands guard at the edge of the water, and sends 5 T2 engineers into the water to make a very expensive T2 torpedo launcher. Over 1,000 mass for that. And there go all the T2 NGs. That was a nice bit of veterancy for OCA there. Almost gets him to the 3rd level of veterancy, which will give him some nice HP back. More regen, yet again, higher max HP. The T2 torp launcher gets to work on the anti-air. The anti-air is, you know, it's not hovering, it is actually set into the water, and so can be hit by torps of all kinds. Unfortunately, the torpedo launcher has fired its final torpedo. Gun commander just gets itself another 1,080 mass worth of veterancy, gets a vet level, and dips back into the water. And to add insult to injury, it's gonna reclaim it as well. Nice bit of mass there. And yeah, this is being reclaimed. Now we're gonna have a bit of an NG war. It's like PheatherNoob is slightly outnumbered here. You know, there's a bit of a battalion of engineers rolling in. And a Janus just chilling. And yeah, This expansion has been killed yet again. PheatherNoob, though, we can see in the reclaim, 25k to under 8,000, so huge disparity in terms of mass reclaimed between these two. PheatherNoob far, far ahead. The kill ratio way better for OCA, even though he's lost so much to anti-air. He has actually been extremely efficient, extremely cost efficient in the damage that he's done, and I think that's largely due to the Janus and the Commander. I don't think the T1 land in general has contributed too much to that, although it has gotten some T2 mech kills and stuff. But in general, I think the main difference in the kill ratio is certainly the Commander, who has quite a lot of damage done, and the Janus. Of course, we saw multiple Janus with 1600, and yet more problems for OCA's Commander. He refuses to leave. He refuses to get out of the water. He refuses to just retreat away from the base to maybe this position. You know, you could just leave the water if you don't want to die to torps, but no. He is committed to this exact piece of water, and he will go back and rebuild these anti-airs directly on top so you can build them faster. He really needs to be able to build them faster because he has no T2, and yeah, he's taking a lot of damage from torpedo bombers. Best thing to do against torpedo bombers is, you know, leave the water, but he, as we've said, he refuses. He will not go. And that's fair enough. Some lazy engineers refusing to reclaim. Please. Gather mass. Imagine you could do voice commands and you could just say to engineers, reclaim. Reclaim mass. That'd be... I'm not sure it would really be faster, would it? There was an RTS where you gave voice commands, wasn't there? I feel like there was back in the day. Anyway, T3 mechs actually has been constructed in the base. Props to PheatherNoob for building a T3 mechs. Negative props because he has a T1 factory adjacent to it, cutting its income down by 3 mass per take, just for a factory. Saves some percentage points on constructing those mantis, but not exactly worth it. Well, this is a small proxy, just a little one, you know. 13 engineers, or what, 12 engineers, 4 factories now, PD as well for some reason, and yeah, it's quite an investment. Now back in the base, so we do have, you know, 4 T2 mexes. We finally worked on our economy a little bit from OCA. We've got you know, T2 air complemented by T2 land. No more ecoing going on. None of these rocks have been taken. And, you know, some people just hate reclaim, I guess. More torpedo bombers from PheatherNoob. And this ACU, again, emerges from the water, walks towards the base, and then decides, I've changed my mind. Now, it's really... a serious lack of commitment. I mean, he could leave the water in a different position potentially, but no, he has to walk directly into the base. So he just got UEF syndrome, UEF commander syndrome. I can do anything, nothing can stop me. He quickly changes his mind, and now he's in the water getting attacked by 5 torpedo bombers. Before it was 1, then it was 2, and he was able to kill those torpedo bombers. Now there's 5 torpedo bombers. He is going to die very shortly if he doesn't do something about this. And look who comes in to try to save the day. 3 Janus. And unfortunately, the Janus have decided not to save the day. We're not sure what they're shooting. They shot an air scout there. The Inties are here. Quickly taking out some Janus. There's 2 of them down. And this one decides on its way out to try and kill a torpedo bomber. Fails in its mission. And now OCA, well, he looks like he's for sure going to die. How do you get out of this? He does have some anti-air. Now the anti-air being taken out. Important to note that an anti-air survives a single pass from a torpedo bomber. Although the torpedo bombers can attack it, the anti-air will survive as it has 800 HP and the torpedo bomber does 750. This is very important. If you could kill those anti-airs in one pass with a torpedo bomber, they would be next to useless. Now T2PDs in the base. This is looking more survival-esque now. We've got some hoplites as well. Flak, mobile flak, static flak. Flag over here, flag over there. OCA has now successfully recaptured the entire map, and PheatherNoob is completely enclosed within his own spawn. He has nothing, and he's being attacked from every angle. The torpedo bombers have been killed, and his ACU sits on a healthy 12,000. I don't believe he's fired a single TAC missile. If we look in the base, we can see that there is nothing to defend versus a TAC missile. Although presumably a TMD could be built quickly. Really only on the left side of the base though. Oh, there's a TMD, sorry. Wait, did he just build that? He must have just built that because that ring was not there. Now, this T3 Max, easily killable. This factory HQ, certainly killable. Support factories, certainly killable. T2 Max here and here, all killable by a tactical missile. But OCA refuses to use such a tool, although he has invested 1500 mass in the upgrade and a couple of hundred extra mass for the missile that is loaded in the launcher on his back. Now he also still, as we've said, he hasn't changed his mind. He's refusing point blank to leave, and PheatherNoob has decided he doesn't want the gun upgrade anymore, doesn't need it anymore. He has made T2 on his commander, and now a nanite torpedo array T2 torpedo launcher has been constructed again. The second one of the game. That's right, multiple T2 torpedo launchers on Loki. Not often you see it. Here's the third one. Second surviving. And this is in range of all the anti-air that has been constructed. Oh, he just TAC missiled it. Finally, the TAC missile is deployed at the most crucial moment. Of course, that's a T2 naval factory is being upgraded within range of those torpedo arrays, and that's attack missile defense. I'm interested in this green glow. I have never seen this green glowing thing before. On the do other factories have this? Is this just during an upgrade? Can see stuff moving, and as it's upgrading, the new parts emerge from the top. Oh, the green light is moving, isn't it? It's moving forward. And he's at 40%, so maybe the green light is going to get the whole way up there. He is also assisting that upgrade. He has 4 veterancy levels now, by the way, thanks to the missile launcher. That's a PD, or a torpedo launcher is constructed. A second one almost constructed, as there's a major attack on the base. Huge amounts of artillery from the right side. Look at all the additional factories. And a large T2 army from the left side. Now, PGen's being focused. It explodes, killing a huge amounts of build power all around it. But a massive amounts of damage being done. The PDs are not dying. And so they're doing huge damage. There is maybe 10 shields here, and they've all died except for this one, which may actually blink on. Oh, just as it was about to come back online. Gets killed. The hoplites have done massive damage. This HQ, which is being upgraded within range of the torpedoes, of course dies at 75% upgraded. That hurts. Oh wait, it's not dead yet. And the ACU under so much fire from the torpedoes and also now cormorants, he drops to 3,900 as the base is surviving. There's one T2P gen left as well, crucially. There's a lot of T2PDs left at the front of the base. OCA runs to the corner and he's going to be trapped by the ACU, which is building T2 torp launchers to trap him. He's going to the corner and building anti-air when he's going to die to the torpedoes. Additional air factories would be nice, or you know, air factories that build interceptors and perhaps torpedo bombers to kill the ACU that's in the water. Just air in general would be nice, given that there's almost no base left except for PDs and a single P-gen. Imagine sniping that P-gen, that would be pretty nice. The torpedo launcher, let's see the range on this thing. Beautifully placed. We can see that just the very corner is safe and the ACU is not in there. He has a long way to run if he wants to get out of range here. And he's dropping HP rapidly. 5,800. There are no more cormorants, however. He's not even building cormorant. Well, he is, but he has... There's almost nothing left to build with here. But OCA is dying to torpedo launchers. Now, if he had attack missile loaded, he could kill this nanite torpedo array. But now there's a scuttle in range, slowly turning its weapon towards him, and he's below 2,000 HP. He's being followed by the Cybern ACU. 1,100, 400, 300. Another torpedo going up, and he dies to the T2 torpedo launcher. Still quite a ways away from escaping the range there. And he dies. And PheatherNoob throws a little bit of shade at the end with the taunts. Well, that was eventful. Ultimately a fatal decision to refuse to leave the this pond back here, or at least just refuse to leave this area, you know. Just take a left here and it seems unlosable. But of course this is Supreme Commander, and once your Supreme Commander dies, well, that's it. It's game over. So well played to PheatherNoob, I guess. He made a T3 max. It did die, however. At the end of the game, let's just take stock of what he has. He has 2 T1 mexes. He has 1 T2 P-gen. He has T2 land and T2 air. Some decent little bit of production there, air-wise. Virtually nothing land-wise, of course. 8 T2 PDs, you know, 11 T1. Plenty of anti-air. Oh, look at this. Almost 2,000 mass killed on this turret. We looked at this earlier when it had 1,000 mass killed and it was almost dead. By the end of the game, fully vetted, almost 2,000 mass killed. Pretty strong stuff. And yeah, the T2 ACU comes up clutch in the end. T2 torp launchers dominating on Loki. Have you seen it before? Because I have not. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you very soon for more casts and streams. Bye, guys.